Whoa, okay, so apparently I'm starting the episode here. I actually thought that I would wait a little bit until the enemies, ascended the ladder and maybe we got some hits in and things like that, but I thought I'd start with the double kill by Garrett himself. Actually kind of surprising that he was able to get those kills considering they are Golden Company Knights. I know that they're not the greatest units stat-wise apparently, but well, they're knights, they're actually knights, and you wouldn't think that an archer would be able to do significant damage to them, but they are. Yeah, look at that. Even Mavros is getting a couple of kills, which is pretty cool. Anyway, welcome back to A Clash of Kings Reformers. Now, to update you on the situation, basically what has been going on is me defending, attacking, defending, attacking. And that's a very simplified version of it, basically, but the whole thing that I've been doing is basically just trying to prevent the Targaryens from doing anything, basically. Just trying to get them dead, just trying to get them eliminated from the game, because I know that if we allow them to continue to rebuild their forces, continue to gain, a foothold in various fiefs, then we would have a very tough time indeed. And so what I've been doing is basically just trying to, well, that's it. Just kind of stamp them out. Now, unfortunately, it hasn't really worked as intended because we are now in a perpetual cycle, which usually will happen in this kind of situation where you are, you're trying to eliminate a faction that has a significant amount of vassals. And they are still pretty strong, I mean, these guys, there's only about 130 something of them, so they're not really that strong, but you know what I mean. It's basically one of those things where you kind of have to participate, otherwise nothing's really going to be done about them. And that's the problem, obviously. That is indeed the problem, because I can't really rely on any of my Dragonstone friends because they are either doing a feast or they're somewhere currently very, very different. Like, for example, they have taken... actually, no, Dawn... Oh, yeah. Yeah, so basically what's happened with Greenstone, Greenstone was the first initial fief that the Targaryens actually took. That's just an automatic fief that they get at the very beginning of their invasion. And anyway, it's changed hands many, many times. Basically what happened was, at the end of the previous episode, we saw that Greenstone, Silverhall, and Tumbleton, which is where we are right now, had been taken by House Targaryen. And so I went over to Tumbleton because I thought to myself, okay, it's probably best that we try and take the town, because obviously that's a bit larger piece of territory, so it's probably going to make more sense for us to do that than anywhere else. So I've been trying to take this, and well, we've taken it, obviously. It was pretty easy to take, only about 100 units or so, very minimal casualties. They didn't really have much much in the way of a defense, because most of their vassals were not inside the garrison, luckily. And now we're being attacked by a bunch of House Targaryen vassals, of course. That is to be expected. Anyway, To go back to Greenstone, basically what's happened at Greenstone is what I've noticed, at least during the construction of my ladders and all the travel time and all that sort of thing, is that Dragonstone took it back from House Targaryen, and then Dawn took it, and now they hold it. So that's that's not. I mean, it's helping. It's helping because House Targaryen then doesn't have a place to sort of produce units, which is pretty good. But obviously, Dawn having it is not good either. Silverhall is actually still, I believe, under our control, just about. I'm actually unsure, who took it. I guess one of our other vassals, because obviously, if House Targaryen had it, I would assume there was about 50 to 60 units in there. So very, very weak indeed, and they were obviously able to take it pretty easily. Now, Stannis, he has nominated a new marshal. And I assume that person is doing a bang-up job of, trying to eliminate the Targaryens and trying to, target those weakened fiefs here and there. And that's definitely something we want to see. Now, apart from that, Silverhall is under siege by the Westerlands. So I don't know if any vassals are going to be there to defend it, but I don't really mind if the Westerlands end up taking it, because if they end up taking it, that means that House Targaryen once again does not have any fief, and we don't have to really worry about them actually being annoying in that respect. You know, we don't have to worry about them continually respawning units in their fiefs and making it more difficult for us to eliminate them completely. Now, of course, if we can, I would like, at all possible, to basically target the Targaryens in every single way, because we've seen how powerful their archers can be. I do not want to be in a situation where we're going to go into a fief, and that fief is going to have 80 or even more archers from House Targaryen there, because that is just going to result in absolute death in every single way. So if I can, what I'm going to try and do is after this siege defense, I will try and hunt down as many House Targaryen vassals as possible. And now we're on the outside of Tumbleton, because, well, I actually need to eliminate these archers, and none of my people are going to come down the ladder, even though they actually could. I believe that there's just a little bit of a stop there, a little bit of a step, basically, that prevents them from coming out. Anyway, there's 10 renown for us, and we eliminated 139, 55 wounded from Elias right there, and now we're going to be seeing a whole bunch of, yes, I was hopeful that we would be able to take them prisoner, but that is seemingly not going to happen. But there were 3 vassals there, and that means that we have basically eliminated them. And if there are no other House Targaryen fiefs, which I don't think there are on the map, that will make it very difficult for them to recuperate. It seems to me like we have a pretty fantastic layout here. Now, you may be wondering, are you attacking Targaryens? No. The answer to that is no. We're not actually attacking Targaryens. Disappointingly enough, I couldn't find any, and these Westerlands guys decided that they wanted to attack Tumbleton, and so I'm obviously still there. I'm basically just waiting there until we get a reasonable enough garrison or someone takes ownership of it. Obviously, I am not claiming it for myself. I do not want it, because even though it is kind of amusing for me to be calling it Stumbleton, because we're obviously Lord Stumble, because Elias obviously stumbles all over the place all the time, even though that is amusing, it is it's just way too annoying for me to be running back and forth from all of the front lines that we currently have active at the moment and defending my own fief. And so me having the Weeping Town and the Crow's Nest is basically enough for me. Maybe another one would be nice to try and just mitigate some of the losses that I'm currently facing. But that's exactly the reason why I'm taking people prisoner, because obviously that is making all the difference. Now, these actually are outnumbered by us by quite a considerable margin, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to charge in. That's it. I'm just going to charge in. I mean, I have no archers or anything like that, so there's literally no tactic I can actually use that would be suitable for this. So I'm just going to try and take out maybe a horse or two. Maybe try and... Ooh, wow, we just took a huge amount of... My horse took a huge amount of damage, actually. And that's exactly my point. These guys' archers are insanely good. They really are very, very good. So I'm hopeful that I will be able to survive, at least without my horse, for a little bit of time. Try and take out that guy's horse at least so he can stop bothering me with his pokey stick. And then we will... Oh, apparently get poked in the face by another guy with a pokey stick. That's not very nice of him. Anyway, yeah, there are 2 vassals here. 2 Westerlands vassals. And I believe they have just stopped from taking Silver Hall. I think they've taken Silver Hall from us. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that has happened. Oh yeah, also, I think Sir Estamont has been taken prisoner. Sir Lomas Estamont has been taken prisoner by... I think it is by the Westerlands. I'm not entirely sure now, because there are so many different things going on that we're... you know, there's just too many things for me to divide my attention on. So basically what I'm trying to do right here is just kind of stabilize things in our territory, try to eliminate as many vassals as we can, Westerlands, Targaryen, Dawn, whoever it is, just try and eliminate as many people as possible. Oh, and look what we have here. I've actually just rescued Lord Eldon Estamont, which is kind of amazing. But I'm pretty sure it was Lomas, the one that got taken prisoner. So this must be another guy that was actually taken prisoner. That is insane. Okay, these guys are... Oh, look at this. We've actually got another one. I'm very surprised. I actually really thought that we were not doing so badly, but maybe that's the reason why most of our Dragonstone friends are not turning up to help us. Maybe it's because they are prisoners. And that is not going well for us. Wow, this is a really nice piece of armor. I think a couple of people actually do have 20 strength, so they should be able to wear it. Alright, so I think I would take this moment as Tumbleton is no longer under siege to show you the overall map and to give you an idea of what's currently going on. So, not much has changed in terms of Westerland's control over these areas here. I think Ashford was actually under control of Dawn, so they might have taken that from Dawn. I think they're at war against each other at least. Anyway, otherwise, Greenstone is still under our control, amazingly enough. Not entirely sure what's going on there. Silverhall is obviously under Westerland's control too, and there doesn't appear to be any fiefs that House Targaryen owns. So I am pretty pleased about that at the moment. I mean, I don't know whether they have taken anything anywhere else. No, it doesn't seem like that is the case, so that is actually pretty fantastic. Now, I should just mention that I did receive a comment, and I want to address that in this episode just because I want to let you know that I'm obviously, I mean, I read everything, obviously, but the point is that I just want to let you know that I have done a whole amazing amount of quests in A Clash of Kings already, because even though the monotony of the sieges and the field battles and all that sort of thing, even though that is upon us, because obviously it's about that time in this playthrough to actually have that happen, because obviously, you know, Warband, eventually it comes to a point where you are just going to have to do field battles, sieges, and all that sort of thing. And even if I wanted to go and do a quest or something like that, I'm not entirely sure where to get a quest, because I've done most of them. I've done most of the really, really prominent ones, and the ones that are remaining are very simple and not actually, as far as I'm aware, not too in-depth. So, yeah, anyway, I just wanted to address that because I just wanted to let you know that I have done a whole bunch of quests in the earlier parts of this series, and I recommend going back and watching those if you have missed them, because they are very interesting, and they do reveal quite a bit about, you know, general storylines and things like that, and it's pretty cool. I like it. Anyway, that's my explanation about this whole sort of siege washing machine as it is, because it's basically just like you go in, you go through the rinse cycle, and then you go out, and then you go back in, and so on and so forth. And it's kind of rinse and repeat, if you get my meaning. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on here so far. And basically what we have to do is we just have to try and stop anyone from attacking us. And I know that that is a very, very tall order. It's very, very difficult to actually have that happen. But that's the point. I mean, we're just at that point in the playthrough. That's literally it. You know, I've done so many playthroughs so far that, you know, it's a very familiar sight for me to have this point, and we're just going to have to try our best. And we're actually trying our best against a very, very, well, rather powerful enemy right here. He has about the same amount of units that we do, and he has a lot of cavalry, as you can see right here. So my horse is probably going to go down in just a second. Hopefully I can get off it before it dies. There we go. Now we can maybe do some damage. Yeah, there we go. On the head. There we are. That's very nice indeed. And, oh yeah, by the way, I ended up giving my, you know, that really good armor that I just got, I ended up giving that to Sir Felton, because he is the guy that has Heartsbane. And he is, he's doing so much damage, as you can see. Look at that. He's already gotten like 3 kills or 4 kills so far, and I think with that armor he's going to be doing even more damage. So I'm very pleased that I was able to give him that, and yeah, hopefully he will show how powerful he actually is, because you may not think about it, you know, you may not think he's that powerful, but we've turned him into an absolute beast over the time of doing all these siege defenses and siege offenses and things like that. And siege defenses are certainly a really good way of leveling up your companions if they actually get into a decent location where they're actually not going to get picked on too easily and they're not going to die super fast. Yeah, then yeah, that's a really good way to level up. It's a really good way to level yourself up too, so obviously there's that. Anyway, I think I might actually be dying here, but hopefully not, because obviously I do tend to sway the battle quite nicely with Elias at the moment. But yes, that's I mean, we're just gonna have to kind of like not even struggle through this particular point in the series, but the thing is that this is exactly what happens. Every single time you play Warband, you're always going to come to this point where there are sieges, field battles, and so on. And you just kind of have to either take a deep breath and just be a little bit patient about where you're going and what you're doing and things like that, and then eventually things will calm down, and then you can more accurately decide where to go. But obviously, because this is a mod, and because this is a Clash of Kings, it is basically infinite war. There's not going to be any peace unless you perform certain actions. And that certain action that we have to take is taking King's Landing. So obviously that is a pretty big objective of mine. And it's definitely something that I am aiming to do in, I don't know, within the next 10 episodes. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do it before that, because obviously I have to try and stabilize our territory. And it seems like it is actually stabilizing as we speak. Because as you've seen on the world map, the stabilization of the central area is kind of happening, because obviously the Westerlands has taken Ashford, and they've taken a whole bunch of other things, and we now no longer... Oh, the Westerlands apparently are pretty powerful right there, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, Westerlands have actually taken some things, they've taken Ashford again, and... well, they're just making it kind of difficult. They're just making it kind of difficult for us. So basically what I'm going to try and do is, if I can, I will try to maybe just leave them alone for a bit, or maybe I will just continue to try and distract them as much as I can off screen. Because obviously I don't really want to do too much off screen, because if I do too much, it's basically going to be the entire game. Because that's the point. I mean, you know... for those of you that know about, you know, series and know about Warband in general, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because if I end up cutting out every single siege battle and every single field battle, well, the majority of it, it's going to be, well, 10 seconds of an episode. It's literally going to be me saying, you know, welcome back, and I'll see you next time. And that's it. You know what I mean? So... yeah, that's the difficulty. That's the difficulty. But hopefully we will be able to get past this point. I very much hope so, because, you know, I've said I'm not a big fan of these endless sieges either. I'm not. You know, I like them for the fact that they give us good experience, and you know, they enable us to do a pretty decent amount of, you know, just skilling up in general. But apart from that, you know, a siege is basically just a tool to get additional territory. And even though I am a big fan of unique sieges and things like that, and I love unique sieges like no end, you know, I really like, you know, elaborate siege layouts and things like that. I really think that they're really cool. You know, they're really enjoyable to go through. Most of the sieges you're going to find, especially in native, I mean, native has basically no unique sieges, but anyway, the point is that most of the sieges you're going to find in most mods, I guess, in most mods are going to be standard sieges, which is absolutely fine. I'm not saying that they're bad, I'm just saying that they can get monotonous, and you know, they're just a tool. You know, they're a tool to gain that more territory, to eliminate factions and things like that, and that's the game. You know, that is the game. So I'm just letting you know that I do know, I've heard your concerns, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just wanted to let you know that, well, what am I supposed to show otherwise? That's the point, you know? I mean, I'm showing these battles mainly because this is our struggle, you know? This is our struggle. This is not me sweeping over the land super easily, you know? This is me struggling with all of our might, with all of Dragonstone's might behind us some of the time, and attempting to weather the storm, you know? And that's basically, I think that's actually pretty compelling, but you know, maybe for some of you it's not. But anyway, there you go. We actually did get a couple of kills, 37, and we lost 13, which is actually fine. I don't mind too much about that. And we now get to take him prisoner. Everyone seems to like us because of our honor rating, which is actually really nice. These guys are wearing exactly the same armor, which is kind of amazing. And we're going to take these guys prisoner. We are just going to take them prisoner because they're probably going to give us a pretty significant amount of cash and you know, ransom and all that stuff, so that's really nice. anyway, there you go. Alright, so basically, Tumbleton is seemingly fine now. It has about 50 in the garrison. I think there will be a couple of people that will try to take it, but I will try and defend it a little bit more. Let's just take a quick scout of King's Landing. And let's see. I need to upgrade my spotting skill, I think. My spotting skill is a bit low. Alright, so let's have a look. Right. Oh, it's actually not even... Oh, it's actually not even bad. Okay, so hear me out for a second. If Tywin was not here, if Tywin was not garrisoned right now in King's Landing, I would try to take it. Because even though they have 128 Lannisport spearmen, I think they might be Tywin's troops. So let's maybe just ignore those. But even though they have that many, and maybe they have a little bit more, and they have a whole load of heavy knights and regular knights and mounted sergeants and regular sergeants and even a whole bunch of longbowmen, kind of. Well, actually, they don't even have that many. No, they don't have that many longbowmen. They have a lot of gold cloak units, which are going to be kind of difficult to deal with. But otherwise, I think I might actually be able to take this by myself. Yeah. I think I might be able to take this by myself. So what I'm going to do is I will be attempting to take Ashford back off screen, and I will head back to the Weeping Town, Crow's Nest, etc. Try and get as many really powerful units as I can, as many, well, household guards as I can, I suppose. And then we will, in the next episode, and I'm not promising anything because I really want to take it, but, you know, sometimes the game just doesn't allow you to, dependent on the circumstances. But I'm really wanting to take King's Landing, so hopefully we will be able to do that. Hopefully Tywin will go away somewhere. Hopefully he'll, you know, go to a meeting or something like that, and we will be able to sneak in and try and siege it. So that will be our plan for the next episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.